I would be inconsolable. Y'all would have to chase me like a Maury camera. I'm running, okay? Y'all are not getting my reaction on camera. I am not letting y'all see that. I'm sorry. It's some things got to stay private. Y'all not finna see me get rejected. I can't do it. So I can go viral on TikTok? No, ma'am. Welcome to La Vida Rosa. I'm your host Pinky, and today we're going to be talking about Married at First Sight season 17. So if you'd like to see more, then just stay tuned, like, comment, and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into this video. Y'all already know Married at First Sight has been a staple on my channel. Honestly, whenever I didn't even have anything really to keep my channel going, Married at First Sight was that thing that I knew that I could just, you know, review, and I knew that people like that here, so I would continue to watch the show, review it, and you know, I just built like a Married at First Sight community over here. I'll be honest, if it wasn't for me reviewing this show, I most likely would have stopped watching it a few seasons back, especially with what all went down with Chris and Paige. Like, that was a huge turnoff, but it has only gotten worse since there. I just feel like the show is so unserious these days. I feel like in the first few seasons, they made more of an effort to make couples that would actually be compatible and last for a lifetime. And honestly, that was enough to create enough natural drama, if you will, because these are still two strangers, but now it's become a lot more manufactured, a lot more salacious, sensationalized, and you could tell that they are mismatching people on purpose in order to have more content. But I feel like it's backfiring because your core fan base started liking this show because of the authenticity, and so that's why I really feel like this might be my last season of reviewing Married at First Sight. The only reason why I'm reviewing it this season is because I've already told y'all that I was going to do it. I'm going to review this season, and I think I'm going to move on. I just feel like I want to kind of move in a different direction anyway with my channel. And y'all will see the changes that I plan to make moving forward, because it's going too far. I just saw a headline saying that Pastor Cal promises drama and horror on the Denver filmed season of Married at First Sight, and it's like, was that the goal? Pastor Cal has been compromised to sell the season with horror. Like, why are y'all promoting it in that way? That's how I know the train has ran off the track. Another reason why I almost didn't want to review this season is because there are no black couples, and look, they had gotten better with representation. We had gotten an Asian couple, we had gotten Hispanic couples, and I feel like with this season they reverted. Like, yes, we do have a couple with a black woman and a Native American man, okay, but all the rest of the couples are white. I also understand you're in Denver, and so I'm sure there weren't many diverse people to choose from there, but y'all didn't have to go to Denver. Y'all could have went somewhere else that did have more of a diverse population to choose from. People that watch the show, they want to see themselves represented. I'm going to start with Emily and Brennan. Brennan is from New York. He said that his parents had a toxic marriage and they constantly fought throughout their marriage, which you know, we tend to pick up on the habits of our parents, whether good or bad, and so that can be a little red flaggish. A lot of times you repeat those same patterns unless you like make an effort to break those patterns. So he might have normalized a lot of toxic behavior, and so we're gonna have to see, like, moving forward in his marriage and how he deals with his wife. His friend said that he checks out often, like when he's in conflict or something like that, he tends to check out. Leading up to the wedding day, he keeps saying that he can't get a divorce, so he's gonna have to make this work. His family doesn't get divorced, so you know, he's gonna make it work no matter what. It's like, have you seen this show? Do you know the success rate? The last time I checked, I think the success rate was only like 30%, if that. I wish you the best, because the woman you marrying said that she's the life of the party, and now she's at a point in her life where she's trying to tone it down. Her red flag is that she's never been in a serious relationship in 30 years, and that the men that she does choose to be with, they ghost her when they end whatever situationship they're having. Maybe you're choosing emotionally unavailable men. I don't know. She said that her parents have been married for 30 years and they're still together. So she had that example, but she just can't find it on her own. She is an account executive for a tech company. What I thought was interesting also was that her friends do not think that she's ready to get married at all. One of her friends, and I think some people might look at her friend as hating, but I look at her friend is just being 100 about where her friend is, as far as she's like at a selfish place in her life. She only cares about what's going to make her happy, and I don't know, that's just not sounding good going into a marriage. At one point, Emily was like, you know, I'm going to do me. And the friend was like, yeah, that's all you ever do. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. That made me a little nervous. They go dress shopping or whatever, and she keeps talking about wanting this unique, spunky dress to show her personality. And she chose the most basic dress she could find. Like, I'm tired of these girls talking about, oh, I want a unique dress, and then when you see the dress, it's like the cut is the most common. There's no sort of pattern to the dress, no sort of lace, ribbon, stitching, no appliques, nothing. It's just a plain white dress. Anyway, she was so stressed out looking for the dress. Her friends noticed like she was being kind of like emotional and distant while looking for the dress, and she was avoiding, like literally they were asking her direct questions and she was avoiding answering, like she did not answer at all. And it's like, you can't do that when you're married. Like, when your husband wants to talk about it, you kind of, and look, I'm talking to myself, y'all. I'm talking to myself, okay? Look, I'm not judging, but like, talking to me and you have to be able to open up and talk about what's on your mind, what's bothering you. No, it's funny, like, because I just remember that Brennan's friend said that he's shuts off and she's avoiding. So, ooh, that's not a good combination. But yeah, she went to her bachelorette party, child, and was twerking on a handstand all over the strippers. They actually made it to their wedding day. On this episode, there was only one wedding. She was very, very nervous. Like, I think she was breaking down in hives. Her chest was all blotchy and red. Like, she was very, very nervous, but she looked very pretty. I will say that. And on the other side, his dad was not being supportive at all. He already said that his dad was very harsh and judgmental, which, look, this is something I don't even blame people for judging people getting married at first sight. At this point, we see how much of a train wreck it's been the past few seasons, so I can't even blame the dad for, you know, you don't know what he's looked up online and seen how crazy this show can be. The mother was trying to soften the blow of the father because he was giving it to him straight. Brennan was asking his dad, like, why are you looking at me like that? The mom was like, it's a look of pride, right? And the dad made it clear that everyone in their family has only had one wedding, so he's not allowed to get a divorce. And I'm like, that's toxic, because if someone does get married and they're in a toxic marriage, they should be allowed to get a divorce and not looked at with a scarlet letter or the black sheep of the family because they're the first person to get divorced. Like, that's, I don't know. I just think that's a little bit toxic, because what if I'm being abused? Like, what if he cheated on me? Like, what if there are serious reasons why people should get divorced? Like, I shouldn't have to stick around just because nobody else in the family has gotten a divorce because y'all want to keep up y'all's image. Like, no. They get to the ceremony, and even though she was so nervous, it was almost as if she was dragging her dad down the aisle. It was funny because she was walking so much faster than him. They both seemed like they were attracted to each other upon first glance, but we've seen that happen before. I don't know. They might get to the next confessional at the reception and be like, ooh, that is not my type. You never know. But they seemed like it. He seemed like he was a little bit more shy than she was. You know, both families expressed that they talk too much, so they might be butting heads on that, or they might love it about each other. It was funny because when she pulled out her vows, she pulled out like this long scroll, and I don't think I've ever seen that before. That was funny. And yeah, at the end when they gave each other a kiss, she went for it, baby. She took off and knocked his socks off, and I don't know, they look good together aesthetically. but we'll see how they actually get along down the aisle. You know, I'm tired of having high hopes. I'm tired of having high hopes. Usually I'm like a hopeless romantic and I encourage love, but I'm going to be very skeptical this season. Then we move on to Becca and Austin. Austin's mother is not pleased that he's doing this at all. She was like, either you have chemistry or you don't. It can set you up with someone that you're compatible with on paper, but when you actually meet them, they could not be interested in you physically. And it's true. I might have to agree with you on that, looking at how the rest of these couples turned out. And she was just talking about how this ain't a game, this ain't nothing to play with. People's real feelings are involved. And I just think that she doesn't think that he's ready to get married. Then we move on to Becca. Becca is like cute, quirky. She has light pink hair and likes to play Nintendo every day. She's a wedding photographer. And what's really interesting about Becca is that she has an autoimmune disorder that attacks her spine. She's had debilitating chronic pain since the age of 19, and she also has endometriosis, and she often feels like a burden to the people around her, and she wants to find someone to accept her in sickness and in health. Now, I have to be honest, I don't know that bringing someone on a show with this sort of issue or illness, I don't know that that's the best idea. Not because they don't deserve love and, you know, we're trying to exclude people because of things that they can't help. I'm just scared that you're going to get paired with someone who treats you bad. And you don't need that on top of your illness. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, there's been some real devils on this show. And if you get paired up with someone like that, it's terrible to you, even though you have this pain all the time. Like it's just not a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't know that they should have included someone like her because of that reason. You know what I'm saying? You might find the sweetest man on earth that wants to help, but I also don't think it's right to spring that on someone that didn't sign up for it. Some people need to fall in love first before they can, you know, go above and beyond and be a caregiver. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know what y'all think about that part down below. But I did think it's funny that both of them have similar personalities. When they were at the bachelorette party and their bachelor parties, they were both running from strippers. They didn't really want anything to do with the strippers. So at least they have that in common. So we have Claire and Cameron. I really don't have much on them. She is a therapist. She had a traumatic loss of losing her brother. He took his own life. And she always felt like she could have done more when it came to that situation. So, you know, that's a big part of why she became a therapist. She wants to help people. And I think that's a great thing that she's doing. And she just wants someone that she can have fun with. Because it seems like that kind of really has drug her down in her life. And so now she's looking for fun and adventure and things like that. And she was matched up with Cameron. What accent is that? Is that an Australian accent? Did I miss where he's originally from, or maybe where his parents are from? He said he was very fearful as a child, but now he's a daredevil, and his real parents are divorced, and, you know, he had a lot of issues dealing with that, so he wants to make this marriage work. Hopefully they can make it. They seem like they matched them up pretty good, I guess, child. Let's move on to Orion and Lauren. This is the mixed race couple. Orion is Native American. Honestly, upon first glance, I would have thought that he was Caucasian. Okay, even when I look at his brothers and sisters, I'm like, I could see a little bit of ambiguity with him and his sister, but not the brother. But, you know, that's why you can't judge a book by its cover. And he said that he really wants to introduce his culture to his wife. And he also said that he's explored his feminine side. And he's went on a date with a man before, because in his culture, that's normal for, you know, you to have a feminine and masculine side. But he went on a date with a man, and he even kissed the man, and that solidified to him that he's not gay. And, you know, I actually believe him, because what man that's like hiding in the closet or doesn't want anyone to know that he's gay, who would actually say, I went on a date with a man and kissed a man? You know what I'm saying? So I actually believe him. He's giving Bennett, that was married to, you know, Bennett and Amelia. They were kind of like that artsy, creative, you know, off the wall type of couple, and I would think they would match him up with somebody similar, the same way they put Bennett with Amelia. You know what I'm saying? He told the men when they were hanging out for the bachelor party that he has a birth certificate and that he's been too big for women in the past. And y'all, I really just didn't expect that from him. Like, why are you bragging about that? One. And two, I never needed to know that. Because, like, let the woman find out on her own. Like, we ain't got to go around spreading rumors like, I'm just so big. Or, you know, I don't know. I just, it felt like he was trying to boost his ego or something. Maybe he felt insecure with all those men. I don't know, y'all. I didn't like that, though. Like, why are you telling, not only you telling those men, but you're telling the world. Like, how you know she wanted everybody to know that? Anyway, Lauren is a budget officer for the federal government, and she put it out there early that she is queer, but she's more so attracted to men and that she's monogamous. So the whole him being on a date with a man before doesn't seem like it's gonna bother her, because she's also, I guess, on the spectrum. So you know, I don't think that's gonna be an issue. But my thing with Lauren, her mother passed away recently, and you could tell that she's still grieving her mother. And her mother told her that she wants her to find a man that makes her feel safe. Lauren was just saying that she wants someone to make her feel the way that her mom made her feel. And she just wants to feel vulnerable and feel safe to be herself. And, you know, I know that sounds weird. I know that sounds crazy, but I kind of felt the same way when I was looking for a partner. Like, I didn't have an active father in my life, but my grandmother, you know, she was the one that always protected me, provided for me, made me feel safe, gave me like that unconditional love that, you know I could come to her with anything, and she might not be happy about it, but she'll help me through it. She'll encourage me, she'll guide me, or she'll give me, she'll give me that push I need to keep going. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those traits I looked for in a partner. You know what I'm saying? So that doesn't sound crazy to me or off the wall. It's just coupled with the fact that her mother just passed. She's clearly still grieving. And a part of me feels like, I hope she's not running out here looking for a partner because she's grieving, because she's trying to replace that love of her mother. You know, part of me feels like you just need to grieve for a little bit more, because even when she went dress shopping, you know, she was looking through all the dresses, and her friends were trying to be there for her. Even her friends were being emotional. You know what I'm saying? And you can't tell me that was the emotion of just her trying on dresses. Like, it wasn't like a emotional happy. It was an emotional heavy. And, you know, she kept asking, like, I don't know which dress to choose. And, you know, it got to the point where she was just like, my mom would know what dress to choose. And she just completely broke down. And, you know, it was just so sad, because you could tell she really misses her mother. And you could tell her mother really was her rock. And you could tell that her friends kind of think this isn't the best idea, but they are just supporting her because that's their friend. But yeah, I don't think that she's ready, y'all. I really don't. Also, another kind of like red flaggish thing to me is that she's very pro-black, and she seems like she's more so into black men. She says she's open to dating anyone, but I don't know that she's gonna be attracted to Orion. I just don't know. I don't know that Orion will be attracted to her. Like, she's a beautiful woman. He's an attractive guy. But are they each other's type? I don't know. I don't think either one of them are unattractive. I just don't know that they'll be attracted to each other. But we shall see, you guys. They start off the episode with the devastating cliffhanger of one of the contestants being jilted at the altar. But we didn't necessarily get to see that. We just saw that one little sneak peek, and we didn't get to see his wedding. His name is Michael. He's a senior project manager for a tech company. his style is kind of like out of the box for his area in particular. Like if he lived in California, he probably wouldn't stick out at all. But because he lives in Denver, Colorado, where everybody's kind of like dressing like lumberjacks, I guess, he has this like out of the norm style. Like he has this like comb over curly bang hanging in his face, and he's wearing one dangly earring, and I think he even said at one point he wore a kilt or something like that. So it's like completely out of the norm. He gives that when he was in high school, he was in a theater group or skateboarders or something like that. He did get jilted at the altar. Honestly, out of all these seasons, we're on season 17. I'm surprised this is the first time that this happened. It's funny because he came into his wedding, he had on a crown, he had a sword in his hand, and he knows himself that he is an acquired taste, and that's something that he was worried about, that his wife would see him and, you know, immediately want to turn around. You know, it took forever for her to even walk down the aisle. I can't imagine how awkward it would be to like be standing there for 20 minutes with her side of the family who doesn't even know you. I'm sure they're gawking and trying to be like, oh, who is this? Who is this? And, you know, just all the anticipation and buildup of that. And, just for her to walk down the aisle and look at you and be like, I can't do this. Like, I would much rather the girl do that than walk down the aisle, get married to the man, and not be attracted to him and treat him bad because of it. Because y'all remember Little Miss I'm a Good Person and how she treated Chris, right? So I much rather you end it as soon as you know. But also, I can't imagine how devastating that is as a man to be left at the altar. Oh my goodness, like that is so sad. Usually in real life, when people are left at the altar, it's not usually literally at the altar. Like they might start the wedding and the man might be standing up at the altar, but the you know, wife just never comes down. It's like a runaway bride, or even if the groom doesn't show up. You know what I'm saying? But it's never like getting rejected in front of everybody, literally, you know. So child. But I did hear that he was possibly going to get a replacement wife, which I'm like, okay, if this was his perfect match, how did y'all find somebody else, maybe the next best thing? Child, we know that ain't gonna work already. But maybe she'll be, maybe it might be a sister, I don't know, maybe it might be someone of a different race, hopefully, because I just would like a little bit more variety. That's what I think about that. That's got to be really tragic, and he looked devastated. I mean, like his family had to console him. I would be inconsolable. Y'all would have to chase me like a Maury camera. I'm running, okay? Y'all are not getting my reaction on camera. I'm not letting y'all see that. I'm sorry. It's some things got to stay private. Y'all not finna see me get rejected. I can't do it. So I can go viral on TikTok? No, ma'am. Let me know what y'all think about this episode down below. Do you think this will be a good season? I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.